Hi boys and girls, this is Mrs. Boynton. Today we're going to do a lesson on tackling nonfiction text. So what are some things we can do as readers to be better at reading nonfiction text? So we're going to talk about an article from Newsella. So the first thing I want to talk about is really what you can do before you even read the paragraphs. And that's called previewing nonfiction text. And a way to preview it is to look at the text features. Let me show you the article I'm looking at on Newsella. Here's an article. It's the 1170 version of the article on Newsella. The first thing I notice is the picture, and I see an Oreo. It looks like an Oreo cookie sitting on the glass next to a glass of milk. So one of the first things I do is look at the picture, and then I read the title. The title says, "A more svelte Oreo will tempt the cookies traditionalists." Now, the first thing I realize when I read that title is it has some confusing words in it. So I might want to read that title again to see if I can understand it better. A more svelte cookie. I'm not sure what svelte means, but it's more something. That tells me it's more something. So that means I think the cookie changed. Will tempt the cookies traditionalists. Now, I know what traditional means. So a traditionalist maybe wants to keep a tradition. So I'm already using the title to help me think a little bit about what this article might be about. So far, I think that it's about Oreos, and I think somehow Oreos are going to get changed. So one of the first things I'm going to do is realize, this article is about Oreos, and I've heard of Oreos before, so what I'm going to do is what's called activate my prior knowledge. That means I need to think, what do I already know about Oreos? There's chocolate, there's cream in the middle, they're delicious, there's regular Oreos, and then my favorites are double stuff, and it's fun to pull them apart, and some people dunk them in milk. That's called activating prior knowledge. Hey, I already know some things about Oreos. Now my brain is ready, or getting ready, I should say, to read an article about Oreos. I thought what I already know about Oreos. That's my prior knowledge. So we've talked about one of the text features to tune into is the title, and we've talked about tuning into the picture, but there's more text features that the article has that the author has put there. And guess what? The author put it there for a reason. The author put the text features there, and the text features are there to help the reader understand. So we really want to tune into the text features. Let's see what else is in this article besides a title and a picture. It's a little hard to see, but this picture actually has a picture caption, and I think a lot of times readers ignore the picture caption. I mean, obviously I can tell that this is an Oreo on the edge of a glass of milk. I don't need the caption to tell me that. But sometimes the author tells a little bit more information about the picture or additional information about the topic. If you just read the caption, you learn more. So I like to look at the picture and read the caption before I even read the article. This caption says, "Oreo Thins are the latest twist on the world's best-selling cookie." I just got a little more information when I read that picture caption. Remember how the title made me think Oreos had changed because it said it was more svelte? Well, now it says Oreo Thins are the latest twist. Oreo Thins. I've never heard of Oreo Thins before, but I know the latest twist means it's the latest thing that's happened to this. So the picture caption has already given me a little bit more information, and I'm starting to make a prediction. Previewing can help you predict. Looking at the text features can help your brain think about what is this going to be about. You see how previewing and predict both start with pre, because you preview it. Pre means before, so you view it before you read it, and it helps you predict, meaning you think about what it's going to be about before you actually read it or before it actually happens. So previewing the article can help you predict what it's going to be about. And when you preview it, you get your brain ready to read and ready to learn. So we've looked at the title, we've looked at the picture, we've looked at the picture caption, but there's often more text features to look at when you read an article. This article has a graph, and I can't tell you how many times kids, when reading at my table, see a graph and they just hop right over it like a little frog. Oh, I don't need to read that. Oh, that is a mistake. Because text features like graphs are there to help the reader understand. The author put it there for a reason. Do not ignore the text features. Do not ignore the title or the pictures or the picture caption. And do not ignore the graphs. Let's look at this graph. This graph has a title. It says Oreo's Global Cookie Domination. All right, well, I know what an Oreo is. Global. That must mean like the globe, like all over the world. Cookie. Domination. Domination means to have power over something or be the leader. So I think this title means that Oreo cookies are dominating or are the most popular all over the world. Okay, let's look more closely at the graph. So I still haven't read the article, but I want to look a little more closely at this graph. First thing that stands out is the blue bar over the gray bars. So I see it says Oreo. Oh wait, under the title it says Worldwide Sales 2014. So this must be how many cookies sold in 2014 all over the world. I see Oreo goes all the way out here, and then it says $3.28, and that doesn't make sense. But then it has the word billion. So that must mean that in 2014, $3.28 billion worth of Oreos were sold. And I can see that Oreo is dominating, like they said, compared to the other types of cookies in the world. The next one I never even heard of. Gamesa, Britannia, I never heard of that. Chips Ahoy, I've heard of that. Looks like they got 0.94 billion. So that means not even $1 billion worth. Britannia has a $1 sign. That doesn't mean they made $1. It means they made 1 billion. This whole graph is in billions of dollars. I think the main point of this graph, which is something you should think about when you're looking at a graph, is that Oreo sells way more than these other cookies. Oh look, there's Girl Scout cookies down at the bottom. So far I've looked at the title and I thought, I think Oreos are maybe going to change. I looked at the picture and I thought about, oh, this article is about Oreos. And I read that picture caption and realized it says something about Oreo Thins. And that made me think, maybe Oreo Thins is the change that's going to happen. I looked at the graph and I saw that Oreos are selling more than any other cookie. What other text features are there that I need to look at besides the title, the picture captions, and the graph? The other one in this article is, there's one right here. It says the cookie stratosphere. Uh-oh, another word I don't know very well, stratosphere. So that is a heading. And the reason the way I remember what a heading is, it is at the head of a paragraph or at the top. So the cookie stratosphere, that's what this paragraph's about. I'm not sure what stratosphere means, so I'm not sure that heading helped me a lot. But let me look at the next headings. There's two. One says, sort of their own food group. All right, I'm thinking about what that heading means. Maybe Oreos are their own food group. And the next one says, don't mess with tradition. Oh, that word traditionalist was in the title. Tradition. That makes me think maybe some people don't want you to change Oreos. They like them just the way they are. So I just finished previewing this article. I looked at the text features. I looked at the title and the picture. I looked at the picture caption. I looked at the graph and tried to figure out what it meant. I looked at the headings that were telling me what every paragraph was going to be about. Now I'm ready to make a prediction and get my brain ready to read this article. Previewing helps me predict. Previewing gets my brain ready to read and learn. All right, this looks like a girl who's previewed and is ready to read the text. Look how happy she is because her brain is ready. And my brain's ready too. Now that I've previewed the text, I predict it's going to be about Oreos. I predict that they're going to have some change in Oreos, like make them thinner. But I also predict that maybe some people aren't going to like that because they like Oreos just the way they are. That's the kind of thinking I'm having right now based on the text features I looked at and thought about. I'm hoping your brain is ready now as well to read this article about Oreos. That is your assignment now, is to read the article that we just previewed together. And later on, we're going to talk more about how I read this article and what I learned from it. Thanks for learning with me. I hope previewing got your brain ready to read and learn as well.